Hi, I'm Mario Evon, and you're listening to Tlk Trth, a weekly edutainment podcast discussing the things that most people are afraid to, but from a Jamaican perspective. From relationships, sex and sexuality, to the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, in this space we speak about almost anything with the intention to inspire, educate, entertain, and create a fair and balanced space where your truth shall become your power and set you free. Welcome to episode number 54 of Tlk Trth, and I'm your boy Mario Evon, and today is a special episode because I'm bringing in someone who supports the show, which is always so cool to me, and every season we have someone who literally is a supporter who ends up becoming a guest, which is always amazing. Today I have a Jamaican woman who goes by the name of Yanique Farquharson, and she hails from St. Thomas, and there's so much more going on with her, and today we're going to talk about her journey to self-acceptance. So let's bring Yanique in. Hi, Yanique.
Hi, Mario. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to Tlk Trth, and thank you for being willing to share your truth. Yanique, tell us a little bit about where you're from in Jamaica and your childhood.
So I'm from a little community in St. Thomas called Roselle. If you're ever going to Portland, that direction, once you pass the waterfall coming from White Horses, I think it's the first left turn. So it's up into that little community.
You mean that little waterfall that you can see from the main road?
Yes.
That's it, right, yeah.
So after you pass that waterfall, it's
Roselle, on the left.
It's on the left.
I'm familiar with Roselle, yeah.
So,
you grew up there?
Yes, I grew up there. That's where I was born. Same yard.
You born in the yard?
No, I was born in the hospital, but that's where I lived. That's where I grew up. I've never moved to another house until I moved here, which was almost 5 years ago.
And here is the United States of America.
Yes, the United States of America. I'm here. I'm in Ohio right now.
You're in Ohio. All right. Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right. Tell me a little bit about growing up in St. Thomas. So what was your household like? You have a big family? You have a little family?
I have a big family in a small house.
All right.
So it's very close-knit. No, I never had anything that was specifically mine or individually mine. But, growing up in a big family, it's good to know that you have the support. It's good to know that there are times when, there's going to be some little banter back and forth with relatives, whether it's cousins, brothers and sisters, parents, grandparents. But it was good to have that, because there were different generations that I could learn from. So,
how many siblings do you have?
Well, altogether I have 11.
Altogether, right?
Yes, altogether.
But I guess you're closer to some than to others for various reasons, right?
Yes, I am. Exactly, for various reasons.
Right. It's like we know the thing going on. That's the good thing. Yeah, we know it go in Jamaica, but yeah.
So for my mother, I am the eldest daughter.
Yeah.
And I have an older brother. So I'm the eldest daughter of 8. And for my father,
eldest daughter of 8, and you have an older brother. All right. Yes. So you are the second child then, technically. Yeah.
Technically. I have a brother that passed away before I was born.
All right. So then you became the eldest at the point where he passed. All right, understood.
No, but I do have an older brother,
He's alive.
Yes, I have an older brother. I have an older brother, and then there was another brother that was born after him, before me, and that's my only full sibling that I didn't get to meet. So, on my dad's side now, so there's 5 of us, and I'm the oldest. I always wanted to be an only child, but that never worked out.
Tough luck for you, right? Yes, 11, you can't choose that one.
Can't choose it at all.
Would you say that it was a religious family? What were some of the cornerstones? Kind of every family have a thing. Some families are rebellious, kind of non-conservative. Some are super conservative, very quiet, loud, shouty, quiet houses, passive-aggressive houses.
Loud, I'd say.
Loud
Was
house.
a
Everybody
loud
had a loud
family.
house, yeah.
Yes, and you kind of had to fight for your how do I say it? If you needed to be heard, you had to be
Yeah,
loud.
yeah, yeah. That's how you
So
got your space.
kind of, sort of.
But you
I
don't seem
was.
like a loud person right now based on these few minutes.
I'm
A
loud
loud
when
person, a loud person lives inside of you.
yes, that person comes out when it's necessary.
Wow,
I
yeah,
think. I think.
yeah.
But others like people who knew me when I was younger, because it's 3 decades of changes in a Mario.
Right,
I may
right,
not look like it, but it's 3 decades of
right.
transitions. So
So
I
we're
learned things.
along the way.
I learned things along the way. So I am this person now from exposure, from just learning things, different things. So
Well, we are definitely gonna go through your evolution. So we're in decade one,
yes,
and
decade one.
all right, here's what I'll do. I
Hmm.
want you to define for me self-acceptance in your words.
So self acceptance for me is identifying your flaws, knowing what they are, using them to work towards your strength,
Mm,
accepting who you are, and not apologizing,
right.
unapologetically being you, taking the space even if you have to stand alone, but accepting that you are that person. And sometimes, like I say, it will make you uncomfortable. It will, but
Absolutely. All right. Let
sometimes,
me.
yeah.
I like that definition. Let me look and see what I can find. There's one online.
Mm-hmm.
Self-acceptance can be defined as the awareness of one's strengths and weaknesses, the realistic yet subjective appraisal of one's talents, capabilities, and general worth, and feelings of satisfaction with oneself despite deficiencies and regardless of past behaviors and choices. And I like that I added that on because your definition mentioned flaws, but I noticed you didn't talk about the beautiful things,
The strengths,
the strengths, yeah.
well, yes, the
But
strengths
maybe
are
you didn't
important.
recognize them in the beginning, eh?
No, I really didn't. I
Yeah.
really didn't. I didn't think I had any, you
Mm.
know, because especially growing up, I was told that my dad can fool,
Mm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that kind of resonated with me for a lot of years.
Right.
But one,
Over from the first into the second decade, at least.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I remember asking my mother the other day, what kind of child I was. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, I started talking at 9 months. Um, I learned to spell my very long name.
Right.
When I
Right.
was 2, I could spell my name. I knew letters. I knew things. So she said she knew I was going to be a talkative child. I was ridiculed and teased for talking a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I would tell on people when I'm not supposed to.
Oh. Why? Why? I don't know. It happened, right?
But the innocence of a child, and I say this all the time. I would love to have the courage and the innocence of a child because
We are. Mm-hmm.
when I admire them and I see the things that they're able to say, it just makes me feel like, why did I lose that?
That's because they're completely fearless.
Yes. So I wasn't allowed to be that child
Right.
because given that I was ridiculed so much just from being so small, um, going through all of this, I'm here worrying, oh, somebody's not gonna like the fact that I said this, or
Right.
somebody's not gonna like that I said that, or what should I not say, or what is okay, or somebody gonna beat me, or like
So yeah, yeah.
those are, and I don't like beating in a Mario, to be
Me
honest.
neither. Right. So so really and truly, the labels start to breed quite a bit of insecurity
Yes.
in you, is what it does. Did you connect your skin color, to being fufu, as you say, when you were growing up and the two came together? is that what happens in the mind, that the two become connected? So in your mind, do you think because I am dark skinned, I'm not as smart? Or not necessarily?
I wouldn't say that. No.
All right. There were two separate things.
Yeah, I would more say that my dark skin meant I wasn't beautiful rather than not knowledgeable.
Smart.
Right.
Right. In a way, you kind of just said that you were smart. You were spelling long names by and doing things long before. You were ahead of your milestones. You were ahead of your milestones as a child. When was at hopping and skipping, but what were some of the things that made you start to feel that you were beautiful? Because that seed was planted early. So I can imagine that something would have to happen to switch you into a mode where you start seeing yourself as beautiful.
So I used to always like to sing, just sing little songs. And my grandfather, my step-grandfather rather, he was the first man who made me even know what it felt like to be loved. And he would tell me, you're a beautiful girl. Because I used to say, Daddy, you think I'm beautiful? And he'd say, yes, you're a pretty girl. But this was around maybe like 8, 9. And he became my best friend. He's still alive today.
Okay,
96 years old.
Wow. Is he Jamaica?
Yes, he's in Jamaica.
Okay. Awesome.
And I do miss our relationships because we had really good conversations. But to your question, what made me start to think I'm a pretty girl or a beautiful girl was through him. And, I'd ask, do you love me? Because I wanted to feel that. And there are a lot of times when I didn't really feel that. So
the validation was important.
Yes, validation was important for me. Still is right now, kind of,
Yeah, it doesn't really completely go away. That's what a lot of people don't realize about the scars. But as you say, you evolve.
Yes.
And you move to a new space with it.
So yes, if anybody had showed me any kind of affection, I can, without any question, say he did.
Your step-grandfather, who is 96 and still alive and living in Jamaica. That's wonderful. I mean, and just hearing that, I am going to assume that he's somebody who had well-adjusted views on beauty and probably lived a bit of life himself. So maybe his perspectives were a little bit different. Yes. It's nice how God sends you some of these people in your life to kind of almost nurture you when you're kind of at the lowest point.
That's true.
You're 8, 9. All right. So you went to Morant Bay High.
Yes.
And tell me about high school. Morant Bay is co-ed, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's co-ed. Well, high school, I don't even know. I didn't even know where I fit in. I was this dark-skinned girl with a lot of hair.
Right.
And I got criticized for that too.
It was natural?
No.
Our process was processed.
So the reason why my hair was processed, Mario, was because my mother was a little aggressive. I hope you don't kill me for saying that. No, I
hope so too. Mommy, we still care. We still love you.
But she was very aggressive. And I got my hair processed like maybe 3 days before I graduated from primary school.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't bother with her.
You mean with the combing? I mean, she was combing off?
Yes.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, she was in it. So you did ask or she did say, make us straighten this thing?
I have an aunt that is living in the US now. Well, she's been living in the US since I was young. Well, she offered to, be the individual that will help me to maintain the processed hair.
She had a hairdresser?
Well,
yes,
she was the expense part of it. Let's say that.
Gotcha. All right, I like it.
Yes. Yeah. So she said she would do it and she would ensure that I had all the products and everything to get my hair taken care of. So because of that, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Went ahead. When I went to high school, there was this one embarrassing moment too. My uniform wasn't made right. And because it's supposed to have a flare. It's a green tunic with a flare. Mine never have no flare because the person in charge of taking me to get it done had it done by a tailor when they're saying
Right.
it should have been done by a dressmaker.
Right.
So my first, I guess, month of high school was a little embarrassing because I was ridiculed for not we're having the
You never
correct.
have the flair.
Yes, I never have the flair, and because I never have the flair, it was like I was singled out.
I'm
But
glad we know they pick the mean all about in America. Then we make it look. Pick children can be wicked, you see? Not the little one, them, the teenage one, them.
yes,
Rough. Yeah.
so the other thing is, even with summer school, I never used to even just like a girl, you know. I was like the one of the biggest tomboys. Puberty changed all of that, but I was a tomboy. So
Yeah.
being like that, it never really mattered to me. But being ridiculed by other kids and teachers, then I'm like, when can I do something right? You know?
Right. So at this point of the game, you've been teased about your complexion. You had
Mm-hmm.
mentioned to me one of the ways that we used to tease you about your forehead, as we say, your forehead, your uniform, and you're a small girl with a lot of process here. So you have no fear.
Yes. I
But there's
remember.
another, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No,
What was
you
it?
go ahead. Yeah, no, let me hear
No,
what you got to say.
I was
I was
going
going to
to
lead you
say.
somewhere else. So I want to hear where you were going with it.
No, I was good. You say I was a small girl. I remember that I weighed 89 pounds
Wow.
that
Yeah.
time.
You look a, you look a bit.
So I was small. And then um, in my classes, I was for first to third form because that's when before you choose your
Right.
vocation or whatever it is that you really want to focus on.
Your first choice, right?
Yes. So in first to third form, I was in the top streams. And I didn't really see that as nothing. I just thought, I was
So
going
you're
to
smart
school.
as well. So they don't like you because you're smart now.
I went to school and I did what thought I needed to do.
Right.
Even though there's always to me some dysfunction, some things on the back end that would prevent me from not excelling, and I was.
Yeah.
I had a friend who some going at me too bright. She needed my help, and she wouldn't ask me because apparently I knew more than she knew. I don't know. I'm just assuming this now. This
Right.
is me
And it
assuming.
made her uncomfortable,
Yes,
clearly.
yes. So, no,
But
I go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, but there was a transition because, of course, high school means puberty, and you hit
Mm-hmm.
13, and some things started to change, and you're at a school with boys. So take me
Mm-hmm.
through this next phase of high school and what was happening there in terms of self-acceptance.
So I remember well, I never used to smile at all.
Yeah.
Surprising. No,
Surprising you smile so
it's
much
like
now, right?
it's one of my best features. That's what I always
Right.
tell people.
Right.
But I never used to smile because I was so boggled down with all the things that were going on in my life, family
Right.
situations. So when I was in high school, maybe around second form, I distinctly remember I used to hang out with the boys. So I was hanging out with two of my friends, and they say, Yanique, if you smile, it would have do better for you. If you just smile. They say you have a nice smile. I'm like, really? I say if you smile, it can make you feel so much better about yourself. And these were guys that was my age.
Right.
So the
So
fact that
they had that insight. Yeah,
that insight to
little.
tell me, and I say, let me try it. And from trying, it decided to make me feel good.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, and my teeth did not look too bad.
Teeth them look good, friend. The teeth look like they have a good dentist. We don't know who clean them, but them look good.
So I'm gonna say, all right.
Yeah, the people who are listening to this in audio are like, what are you talking about? Guys, you need to go over to YouTube and watch the video so you can see what Yanique looks like. You see her teeth there.
With that, I say, all right, let me just go ahead and do that. And then I used to start looking in the mirror. And from looking in the mirror and seeing that I smile a lot, I started combing my hair a certain way that fits my face.
Right.
So there were my phases too of having a bang. I had bangs then because
you're covering the forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that too, I went ahead and, I kind of started to see myself.
Yeah.
And
Finally, yeah.
seeing myself, then there was this other guy that was attracted to me. Same second form, but different class. And I was like, why am I like me? First of all, he had a very way lighter skin than me. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
I'm not the girl for you to be interested
Right. You don't really
in.
like me. You
You
don't
don't really
brown like
like
me
me.
or be browner than me.
He
Brown
was
like me?
lighter than you.
Lighter than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'm
there's all
like, yeah,
in your
guys.
mind there's also a construct of the fact that even a
Mm-hmm.
brown skin boy wouldn't want a girl like you.
No. So
Yeah.
I had that construct that they're only going to like the lighter skinned girls. Because
Right,
when I
right.
was in first form, I had a friend who she was lighter than me, and she would get all the attention.
All the boy would like
Yes,
that.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
even men who weren't supposed to be calling to us.
Well, yeah, that's another
Yes,
thing too.
but she was getting all the attention, and
Mhm.
then I know, fast forward, go to third form. Third form now started to develop a little
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah.
And, men would see me as an African princess. And I'm like, why are they even paying attention to me? I don't even like boys. I don't even know if I want to.
Man. But you have breasts now. It's different. You're a
Right.
little,
So
a
now
little woman now.
they're seeing something, and I'm still like this shy girl who, no, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but
But
still,
you would say that you definitely had a different boost of confidence after those boys told you to smile more, and
yes,
now you're getting attention
yes,
from
yes.
the opposite sex, even the
Mm-hmm.
lightest in opposite sex, right?
Even the lighter
So
skin
they're now
one.
breaking down some of your own constructs,
Right. And say,
challenging.
I see you. That's
Yeah,
what they're
I see
telling me.
you.
I
Right,
see
I
you.
see you, irrespective of how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I see you.
So the smiling thing almost got me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of my teachers came to class, and he was a heavy set guy, tall and big.
Mm-hmm.
So he would come into the class and he would say hello, but it's loud, right? So that's his way of getting our attention, to just be quiet.
Right.
But the hello just triggered a laughter. And I was laughing like crazy. And he'd say, Yanique, wipe that stupid grin off your face. That's when I just
I
died.
must up the thing, yeah. After we don't start smiling, want to take it away.
Right. But, I'm surprised him never sent me out of class,
Right.
because I couldn't stop laughing because I
You
thought
found
what he
it
said was
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I don't have that sidebar to say to me laughing, but that was one of the days when I realized, people are going to be intimidated by the simplest things
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you do. So
Yeah.
if you can own them, just own them, and
Right.
you'll be okay.
Wow. All right. Well, did anything else significant happen in high school? 'Cause I'm going to just
Well,
because I was going to transfer you to UA after this, but take me on the journey.
So another issue that I had in high school was, and that's where I needed validation.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how well I did, my father would never tell me that, I'm proud of you. And that's something I always wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was in first form, like I said, I'm in the top stream of all those 3 years. And he would see, I'd get like 90s. I always come first in a maths. Don't know why, but it happened.
Yeah.
But I'd get like 90s in other subjects, but he'd only see the position. And sometimes getting 90, Mario, I'll be at 20 in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And he would only see, why you get this? And why are you at this position? He'll never see like, you're getting good grades, you're average. Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember once when I was in third form, I was second place out of 200 and something. I think the entire, because they rank you based on your grade, your class rather, and then they rank you based on the number of people
Right. Exactly.
in the year. So I was ranked. I saw that I was ranked number 2 in my class and number 2 in the year.
Wow. Yeah.
That I thought I had accomplished something
Yeah,
great.
because each class would have at least a double
40.
figure number of people, 40, right? And it's
Yeah.
how many classes in a form? Like 5, 6.
So they spell Morant. It's spelled Morant.
Morant. So that's 6.
And yes,
So
and
that's 6 times 4, 240 kids maybe in a year. And you were second in out of 240. All right, so this is significant. But
well, yes. So I was happy. My mother, she wasn't the kind that is going to criticize me because she knows my worth. She might not say it in so she never know if she really express herself, but she knew.
Not really create excitement, but not
no,
really.
but she knew.
She know you're smart. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I took it to my father now, and after taking it to him, his response, "That's good, but you should have come first."
Oh boy. Mine is too funny. Mine weren't a lot like that, but the other elements existed, and it's a feature of Jamaican parenting, and Caribbean parenting where I think everybody is so used to working hard.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody going to really make any excitement if you do good. You have to be the best. And if you're not the best, then it's just average. That's kind of weird, but it's true.
It's true, and not everybody have a thick skin,
No, sir.
And I'll feel happy about the report. I say when I see him and him go through it.
Yeah.
I'm deflated.
Yeah.
I feel like you never do nothing good.
But retrospectively, would you say that kind of parenting style for us as Jamaicans that it helps us sometimes?
Sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because depending on your personality, you're going to either want to do better the next time or be more deflated. So it depends.
I just did what I didn't know to do any better than I was doing.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, there were other things. There was dysfunction. My mother and father didn't grow up. I didn't see them together when I was born.
Right.
So I had to be back and forth between the two of them. And when things would be said about my mother by my father, I didn't like that. While when my mother would care less.
Right.
So
you kind of end up being the middle one in big people relationships.
In big people circumstances. As if it's my issue. I'm already trying to be a child and
figure out your life and come first out of 240. And then these things are going on, yeah.
I know. And that I thought was unfair. I'm not saying that to be hard on me, but recognize when I do good. And if you're going to criticize me and tell me, you should have done this, tell me afterwards. Not tell me when you go through the report and I say what you need to say. Tell me afterwards.
But I hope I always like to say this about parents. I hope you also appreciate that they were doing the best that they knew how to at that time.
Yes. So it's no, I know.
Right. When you're going through it, you're like, what is going on? In retrospect, you're like.
Yeah, no, I was like, they are doing their best with what they had at the time.
They had and what they knew, yeah.
And they thought that what they were doing was right. So
Exactly.
I've grown to forgive. And I do ask questions too, because I need to know what was going on for you and why did you think you needed to be like this? So I do ask questions.
That's bold of you to seek clarity, because seeking clarity will also help you develop greater self-acceptance too, because at least you'll know the reasons.
Yes.
Behind certain things, right? Because you may have had a different idea of what it was, and it really wasn't.
I just felt unloved.
Exactly. And a lot of times we go through life not really knowing the reasons because people don't share them because of their own insecurities and their own fears of sharing them. But you felt unloved because you're doing your best, but still it's not good enough. And
to add another thing is the parent that is paying for you to go to school.
Yeah.
Can never say, I'm proud of where you're at.
Yeah.
Can never say, I see what you're doing. I'm proud of it. I would like for you to do better. but I am proud
But
of
I'm
what I've
happy with what you have
accomplished.
done, right?
Yes,
And the connection between the hand that supports the school fee and you being the student is a deep connection. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that was my teenage brain processing that.
Yeah. So tell me about moving from Morant to US. So you come out of St. Thomas, you go over to Kingston. Are you commuting from St. Thomas to Kingston? Or are you a hall girl? You live in town? What's going on?
So I guess I didn't do much in school. So when I applied to Hall, nobody took. And when I said didn't do much, like
Right.
extracurricular
So you
wise,
applied to
I was
hall and they
only
take you on.
I was only in one club going to high school, just
Right.
one.
Right.
So when I applied, I didn't get in. So
Mm-hmm.
here's how the journey started. I I remembered we were having career month or something at school. They
Mm-hmm.
came, they gave us the applications because our upper six, they gave us the application. We applied, a group of us, got a car to take us to UE so we could take it there and pay for the
Okay.
application.
Mm-hmm.
When I pay for the application, Marty, my parents don't know this. Neither of my parents know this. Nobody knew I wanted to go to UE. I don't. I think that's the only. I didn't.
You just start out your life. You want to go you
Yeah.
and you try to figure out how it's going to work.
So now we fill out the application, pay for it, come back. I applied for law because that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for Carrimac and I applied for something. I can't remember the other thing, but those were the two things I wanted.
And for foreigners, Carrimac is journalism school, and Hall is like living on the dorm.
Yes.
So those were two. So law, journalism were the two.
Yes.
Were two top
were
ones.
two of the options.
Mm-hmm.
So after doing the application and I got in, I went to tell my father. He was like, "So who that I go pay for?"
Which makes sense that the man concerned that you gotta go big school in Kingston. Who is paying for this university school fee, which is more than the high school fee? It's a legitimate concern. But yeah, that was his first response. It wasn't you're gonna try to be a lawyer. It was who's paying for that?
Yeah, because when I did get the acceptance letter, because I told him I applied afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't tell him that I'm going to apply because I don't know what the reaction is going to be.
Right, they might stop you from applying or try to.
Right. So I went and I applied. Told him then we had to start the student loan application. So we did that.
Mm-hmm.
With the processing waiting, got the letter back from, I think, I don't remember when we got the acceptance. I got the acceptance letter to do literature in English. I was like, who did I get this? Anyway.
Guess that's not what you wanted to do. And we know that's not what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm.
No, but it was an in. And I think when you apply to law and they don't choose it, because at that time it was just 40 people being shortlisted when I applied.
Very competitive.
So given that you are going to be shortlisted and maybe I'm not the best of the best, then they're going to put you somewhere where they think that, you can try probably next year.
Right.
So I did my literature in English.
The whole degree?
No, I botched it. The first year.
Wait, just that year. You botched the first year.
First year, I only, because we had 10 courses that we had to complete for the year. I think I only passed like 6.
Was it difficult or you just weren't interested?
It was difficult. But I did live in Kingston, I live like maybe... Yeah, I could take like a taxi because I live on Wellington Drive. So I live very close.
You were living in Kingston. All right, cool. You were near to school.
I was very close to you. But I don't know. I feel like the connection I had with poetry and prose and all these other things.
This wasn't it. This wasn't it.
It never worked out and it showed. It showed. So then I started going to church. So my friend that I was staying with, because I lived with one of my former classmates from high school. So I was staying with her. And I was talking to her mother, and her mother said, Yanique, I think, have you ever tried applying for psychology?
Right.
And I said, I never really thought of it, but I was low key giving advice to people long time because I had this care for people and I have this care for just reaching out and
And trying to build the people and help them recognize
yes,
themselves
yes.
and
Don't know why
yeah.
we were kind of depleted and
But
have all these, but
sometimes that's exactly why though.
yeah, because I want to see other people be like that, be
Right.
strong in
Strong,
themselves.
right. Mm-hmm.
So after doing all of that, I went ahead and applied.
Mm-hmm.
I got accepted
Mm-hmm.
to the psychology, but given that I failed and with student loan, I don't even remember what happened, but I had to take a year off school. Something happened. I can't remember what exactly happened, but I had to take a year off school. Oh, so student loan, if you're changing your major, student loan
Right.
wants you to start paying back.
Right, for the first one.
Yes. So I couldn't switch majors. Well, I couldn't
You
without
could. You
starting
just
to
have
pay
to stop.
back.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't switch without starting to pay back.
So
So
you had to take time off
yes,
to make some money.
and I didn't make no money. I never get
Right.
a job, Mario, throughout that
Right.
12 months. I didn't.
You were hustling in the streets, but the streets weren't paying you.
No, and then my father was kind of thinking that I was slacking off because you
Yeah.
can submit so many applications. There's so many people who know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, they do.
Submitting applications and you don't get nowhere.
And let me tell you, people, the Students Loan Bureau in Jamaica, if you not pay the money, then post a picture in the newspaper, which I'm sure they do all over the world. People have different methods, but that's one of the things that happens here in Jamaica. So nobody wants their picture to be in the paper.
Right.
Owing money. Wow.
So with that, no, I say, all right, let's see what I'm gonna do. But then comes August of the next year, and I needed to start school. So I went to my dad and I say, hey, I want to go back to school. This is what I would like to happen. He wasn't so accepting because he's saying, why did I switch majors? I said, it was hard. And I realized it wasn't for me. And he was like, why didn't you wait and apply again for law? And why you didn't defer? I'm like, I said to him, why are you saying this no? Why not try to consult then rather than telling me no, that I should have waited or I should have changed. Right. They could have and they should have
happened a year ago, right?
So I said, I still want to go and I'm going to try to find a way. So I talked to my auntie, the same one that helped me with the hairstyle.
Yeah, man.
And she was willing to help to an extent. But with that, when I asked him, it's a lot to ask him because he has, other kids too that needs the same kind of support.
Right, exactly.
So him work out something, get to go back to school. It was paid. Well, first semester was paid for. So me now saying this year I need to go to do work and travel.
Yeah.
I tried it the first time, it didn't work out because the funds that was needed to do the work and travel, it's a lot. And I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I say, second year, I'm not gonna do it. So what I did know is I had to borrow the money. To go to school. So my first year paid for. It's a lot of difficulties because this time I have to be traveling back and forth.
Right.
Because the place that we had, I had to give it up. Because because remember I took the year off. So
yeah, I started and no job.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thanks, Mario.
I know. I mean, hey, this was in the past. It happened. We're not here now. So you know what I mean? But
So,
yeah, we understand. So you had to give it up and you had to keep moving.
yeah, I had to keep
So you're back
moving.
and forth now between St. Thomas
So
and school.
hmm
Yeah,
back and
exactly.
forth between St. Thomas and school. And my dad say, you have to live here. If you're going to go to school, you have to be here. If
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, you have to be here. This is me at 20, 21. This
Right.
man got telling to me, I have to come. But
And
anyways,
you already were living alone, so right. So you didn't really want to go back home.
right. So I said, you know what? I'll do it. I did it for a year.
Yeah.
Well, not a year, half of the year. I couldn't do it any longer because the expectations were too much for me. Traveling, doing schoolwork, and then I come home. The expectation is for me to be cooking or doing other
Other
household chores,
responsibilities. Yeah.
which I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
And when I told him that I couldn't handle that, he made it seem as if I was being unrealistic. Because I would have to get up like 5 in the morning. Some of my classes were at 8.
Right.
So to get to my classes, sometimes I sleep on the bus,
Right. Because you're tired.
Right. I slept on the bus going to school.
Then
So
he can catapulting you into another phase of your life.
no problem.
I pushed you to. You're in the US now.
Yes.
How did you end up in the US? And I want you to tell me about self-acceptance now in a country where in Jamaica it was colorism. But I mean, of course, you're an adult now, so you're more comfortable in your own skin. But now in a country where you're black, where you're black. Yeah, I lived there for a few years. I know. Tell me about that part of your journey. How you end up in the US, or why did you move to the US, and how did your self-acceptance change in moving to a new country?
So after going to UWI, I started working at a call center in Jamaica. Was working out so well. So I had a friend here and, work out something for me, and I came here to the US. So after coming to the US now, and I was with this friend for a while, things never work out so well. So I needed a job. So I applied to get that job, moved to Colorado. Colorado is more accepting of Black people.
Right.
Because they have like a little community of Africans. So they'll see me and think I'm an African.
Yeah.
Of African descent, yes. Not
Yes,
from the country, no.
No.
But people would see me and think that. But imagine me coming from Jamaica, which is like always nice and hot, to going to an altitude of 9,000 feet.
And cold, yes.
And cold.
Sometimes, yeah.
And 9 months out of the year, it is cold. So from there, going there, being associated with white people, racism, I felt it, but it wasn't so in my face.
Okay. Well, give thanks for that.
Yes, I think if I was in other states, it
might have been worse.
It would have been different. And it was too. Then there was a white men who would see me and tell me they love my skin complexion, and tell me I'm beautiful. And even if I have in extensions, because I wear braids a lot, they would see me and actually compliment me. So that was different for me.
That's a whole new level of the construct, because now this is a biracial thing, right?
Yes,
Interracial.
That was very different for me. And I didn't think it was offensive.
And it felt genuine.
It was very genuine.
Yeah, which is important, yeah.
To not be accepted by your own, and people calling you different things, black like tar or whatever it is. And to know that even sometimes in your own family. And I forgive them now because they probably didn't understand either.
No, right.
But being
nor necessarily was the intention deep-seated. So meaning this is what they're taught, this is what they express. But when you're at the core of it, you're still family and they love you. Where there are people who hate blackness.
Say that again?
Well, anyway, I can't speak for them because I don't know what their intentions were, but I'm saying I feel like in Jamaica, a lot of that is learned behavior, and that at the core, you're still family and someone that they love.
Yes.
And maybe we take care of if you were in a band. And I think there is deep-seated hate for blackness, which is a little different.
Yes, that's true.
They rub shoulders going on because there is some dislike for blackness when someone can say those things to you. So we can't deny that.
And that was also a part of my life too, that I was introduced to skin lightening creams. Because I knew about them. I knew of them, but using them was never something that I would do. And I don't know, I think maybe I was at a low point in my life. I never really explored it, but I did try it. And then after a while, I was like,
you saw any changes?
No, I did see changes. It wasn't like extreme.
Right.
Because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be seen as
a bleaching.
Yes.
But you didn't want to didn't want to smooth it out a little bit.
Even out the tone.
Even out the tone, yes, that's a nice tone. Oh gosh, but I'm glad you let that go, Toby. But as you say, it was at a time when your own perception of self was not as strong as it could have been.
I feel like I wasn't accepted the way I feel about myself. I don't know. It wasn't showing to other people.
And they know you're in Colorado, and there are actually people of another race in another country who are appreciating you as you are.
You want a funny story? Where I'm living right now, I feel like, and you probably heard me, but I feel like there's some issues here too. Like in my current apartment.
There's some what?
I don't know if there's some race issue or something, but.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But when I just moved here, because I recently moved here, but in this apartment building, that is, when I just moved here, there was someone below me that said I was making noise. But this would be me just walking.
Right.
And this girl came to my door. She came to my door.
Right, to talk to you about it?
Yes.
Because you were walking too loud. Right, but it didn't seem justifiable to you, right? So you're like, something must be here, right?
She asked me, like, why are you looking at me like this? I said, because you're looking at me annoyed. I said, because I am. I am annoyed.
Yeah.
And she was not my color.
Right.
And I kind of did feel targeted because it's not the first time that she complained.
Right.
And I did say to her, I said, I feel targeted. She's like, no, that's not what it is. It's just that you're loud. And I said, I just walk into the apartment. So I don't understand how you're telling me that I'm loud. I just walked in.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been here for a long time, yeah.
So, it's...
Yeah, you're not sure. And that's the thing about those things in the US. Sometimes it's very hard to tell what is real from what isn't real.
And I'm not the kind of person, I never want to say that is the first reason.
Right, exactly.
I try to explore everything else
before you get there. Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm not going to call the race card. That's not me.
Neither either. Race card is not top of our list. And I think that's because we're Jamaicans too, that we tend to not think that way. But when you start to see it more and more, you start to feel a difference, and you'll know when it really is.
That's true.
I guess this is a big question. But to the people listening and viewing, how would you say you can develop a greater sense of self-acceptance now that you're an adult and much more comfortable in your skin?
Wow.
What would you tell someone who was 8-year-old you?
I would tell someone to be brave. Be brave, regardless. You might get some licks feed, but don't dim your light. Don't be open to ask questions and be curious.
Right. Because
only by being curious that you would really understand what is going on around you.
I want to dig deeper on those two responses because I want to be clear. When you say be brave, what do you mean exactly?
Be brave in the sense that even though you're a child, you still have a voice. Okay. And use that voice.
And when you link that to your context, what would bravery look like for you
for me,
as that child? Yeah. What would you have said
Brave.
then if you had known better or known differently?
If I had known differently, I would have probably questioned the
Why are
adults
you saying
more.
this? Right. Yeah. Why are you calling
Yes.
this? What does it mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. What does all those things mean, and why you think you need to tell me that?
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of accepting it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So be brave and be curious.
Yes.
And
Be
where would
cu-
you say you are right now in your journey of self acceptance?
um in my journey of self acceptance, I think I'm probably 80% there,
Yeah.
and there's just
Knowing that there's no 100%, right? Because it's always
right.
evolving. Yeah.
Because there is always going to be some kind of changes. And my reason for saying this is even in my job, I present myself as this specific person who has an opinion. And when I say I have an opinion, I will speak my mind sometimes that it might take people off guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I I make my opinions known. And even in my job, if I feel like the I do what's required of me. Let's say that. However, if it is overwhelming, I'm going to say it. If there is something that can change, I'm going to say it. I'm making it known. Before, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, no, I wouldn't have said that. I know that for a fact that I wouldn't say anything. No, and I think this is also attributed to me being independent. So
Yeah.
being independent, it kind of takes away that part where someone would, someone or whoever it is going to take something away from me that I have to,
Right. Nobody can
be
hold anything
mindful
over
of.
your head, right? Because
Right.
you don't owe them anything,
No.
right?
So
All right, rapid fire. How do you feel about your forehead now?
I think it's beautiful. I show it up now, see.
Right, no more
Yeah.
bangs. How do you feel about your skin?
Oh, I think it's really great. I'm starting to wear makeup now, which I think is long overdue.
And I
But
jump in. It's beautiful. But you see, I love blackness, so I am so biased that I can't even comment on it. I just love everything black for me personally. But that's just me. But you do have
yes,
beautiful skin as well. Color aside,
mhm.
you have no blemishes. It has a nice glow and a sheen. Like these are things people buy products for, friend.
But I do have on makeup right now.
You have a little somewhere and
Yeah,
something.
no, but
Yeah.
I love my skin now.
Yeah.
I'm accepting it because it's what I was born in, and
Yeah.
regardless of if I bleach, it's and I stop, it's going to come right back. Maybe worse than I expected.
So
So
knowledge is
I
power, right?
yes, so knowing and accepting, you can't get it.
But also, we have to be grateful that we now live in a world that glorifies blackness a bit more, despite the fact racism still exists.
Yeah,
The landscape we live in now is one where people are proud of their
and
blackness.
my natural hair too, because it's not
It's
processed at
natural,
all.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what
So
about the smile? Well, we know we accepted the smile from high school. So
my
we
best
locked that
feature,
down.
my
It's
best
the best feature.
feature. I live by that. I go by that.
Stepping away from the physical, continuing on the rapid fire,
Hmm.
how do you feel about your confidence as a human, as a Yanique?
Wow. Um, I think now that I know a lot of things, self development and all of that, it made me realize that I can only be me. I can't be anybody else. So I have to be my best self. And whatever that looks like, it may not look the same every day because, emotions and all of that. But I'm able to utilize a lot of the things that I've learned and accept that this is me and I can't be nobody else.
Can only be your best self and you can't be anybody else. Oh boy. Yannick, you have any final words for our listeners, for our viewers? Is anything else you want to share with anybody battling with
Um,
self-acceptance?
well, what I can say for sure is it is a journey. self-acceptance is definitely a journey. And if you have the right people in your corner, then your arrival to self-acceptance might be a little faster. And if you don't, try to find that one person that is willing to show you the love. I'd encourage them to find somebody that loves them for themselves and who is willing to help to mold them into accepting who they are and knowing that you are beautifully and wonderfully made by God.
Absolutely.
And because you are beautifully and wonderfully made, God not make mistake.
God not make mistake. No.
So
You're intended, yes. I was saying you're intended to be exactly who you are.
Yes, you're intended to be this person, and the people in your corner will help to mold you to be that best for that person.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Yanique. I'm going to piggyback on that and just say, also find the time to question yourself and to find your truth and the things that you love and to love yourself. I always love to talk about the self-love too.
Yes.
Self-acceptance and self-love are kind of very, very much tied together. Right? However you get to that self-love, that's when you start accepting yourself.
But if you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? If you don't love yourself, and you have to learn, and also try to have a relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think the best relationship you can have is with yourself. And if you don't have that relationship with yourself, then you are not going to be a good partner, whether it's a friendship, whatever it is.
It's going to be hard to relate to other people. Yanique, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you? Because I'm sure that there are many little boys and girls who are going to hear this story and connect, and they will want to send you a DM of I went through this too, or whatever else. And if you have any other projects that you're working on social media, any other cool things you want to tell people about, feel free to share.
Well, it's kind of just I can be found on Instagram, Yanique.Priscilla. And that's the handle is at Yanique.Priscilla. On Facebook, I'm Yanique Farquharson. I don't have any other social media.
Right. Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yes. I did do a few lives just talking about life in general and how we can help to make our individuals better individuals for society. And
right.
So I do them when I find somebody who's willing to have that hard conversations and find out the solutions that we can, come up with to make that happen. And I do that on Instagram sometimes. So other than that, I don't really do much. I'm kind of I don't think I do much. I'm just a quiet
Yanique.
person other than that. Yeah.
Right. Yanique, thank you so much again for your time, for your honesty, for sharing your truth. And I know that it will inspire somebody else. So thank you for being on
I hope somebody learned something. I hope somebody learned something. And I hope we can meet in person. I hope you and I can. I'm coming to Jamaica, I'm coming to Jamaica in April.
After your quarantine, we talk. All right, Yanique, thank you so much again.
Thank you. And, I appreciate this. I appreciate the opportunity. I'll continue to listen.
You coming on the show as well. All right, take care.
Thank you. You take care.
You just listened to episode number 54 of Tlk Trth. And I'm your boy, Mario Evon. And you just heard the story and journey of Yanique Farquharson. A beautiful one. One about self-acceptance, overcoming teasing, overcoming personal struggles, overcoming so many of the obstacles that so many of us have to face working our way through lives, the various expectations that are placed upon us, and how we eventually come all the way around to discovering what we want, what we desire, and the beauty that lies within us. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, like, share. We are Tlk Trth, pretty much on all social media. The only things that are properly spelled out are our website, which is Tlk Trth, and the email address, which is talktruthja@gmail.com. If you'd like to be a guest, there is a link in the show notes and it will allow you to fill out a form. You may just be like Yanique, and when I need guests, I search for that form. So if you think that you have a truth that might benefit someone, something that you do very well, something you're very passionate about, something you've overcome, something you feel vulnerable enough and ready to share, fill out that form, become a guest, and of course, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. It really helps our ratings and how the podcast appears to the world. I appreciate you, and I know you appreciate me because you've told me so many times. Like, subscribe, share, listen, catch up, and thank you for always being here every Sunday. 54 episodes, guys. This is a blessing. I enjoy these conversations. I enjoy you listening. Let's keep sharing our truth with the world. And you've just listened to Tlk Trth, a place where your truth shall become your power and set you free. Until next time, guys. Peace out.